My name is Grant. I'm a street and landscape photographer, and I dabble in a little bit of travel here and there. And today we're going to have a little story time, actually, of how I went on a 7-hour car ride to get a hamburger. It sounds very interesting of a story, but let's begin, shall we? And to start the story off, it starts probably back 10 years ago when I first started getting into photography, and one of my friends asked me if I wanted to go out for lunch or whatever, so I accepted the invite. But then, without knowing, I took a little snooze, and then next thing you know, I woke up and we were somewhere outside Pittsburgh. It's like, oh, okay, well, how did we get here? And then that's when I learned the story that, oh, we're gonna go to this drive-in burger place out in Ohio. And that is where our story begins. And it's an interesting story of why I went for almost a 7-hour drive to Ohio. And this isn't the first time I've ever been to Ohio. I've been there many times before as a kid, going to visit grandparents out in another state in the Midwest. But this time, it felt more like I got to experience a little bit of Ohio for maybe 5 hours while there. And it's kind of an interesting story just besides traveling 7 hours unexpectedly. And for the most part, I brought my camera with me unironically, and I did get a few great photos that are still some of my favorite from that trip almost 10 years ago. That was the unexpected dinner trip to Ohio. So our story begins off waking up from my snooze, and I realized we're outside of a gas station in Pennsylvania or somewhere near Pittsburgh when I found out, oh, my friends are taking me for burgers out in Ohio or whatever. And I don't know how I fell asleep that long in the car when I thought, oh, it's gonna be a 15-minute car ride. I probably lost track of time, but eventually we got to Ohio. We got to our first city. We went to two cities, interestingly enough, which was Akron and Cleveland, and this is probably the first time I've actually been to both cities in Ohio. Because I've gone through Ohio before, but for road trips only, so I never got to really stop in Akron or Cleveland, or got to explore what Ohio really has. And my first photo is just a basic one of just the skyline of Akron. This is like when I first got into photography, when I had this Canon, I want to say it was the T5 or T5i. I think I still have it, but and I also too wasn't too good at editing photos at the time, so these are not like the best, but they still did something, well, besides the fact that I went to Ohio that day. And obviously, like I said, it's just a plain. There's nothing too interesting about it besides it being the skyline of Akron. And that's really about the most I could say. And then, right as we got to Akron, we started looking for this one burger place, and it was called Swenson's. Kind of like a drive-in fast food restaurant. And where people run up to your car, all that stuff. It's not like we go Sonic or Checkers, so you just order the drive-thru. You have people come run up to your car and give you your food or whatever, all that. And it's kind of an experience, not to mention, too, the next photo, which is from when we went to Swenson's. It's still one of my favorite photos from when I went to Ohio, and this is from like 10 years ago. And there's a lot of interesting story about this one, actually. Well, it's done me a little bit of favors. Not favors in a weird way. It's just in the sense that I entered this photo in a photo contest that was in community college, because this is when I was in college at the time. I entered it. It did get into the contest. I think I might have gotten like 3rd or 4th place with it, and it's still one of my favorite photos from 2015 and from the trip in Ohio. But there's still more to come besides the one photo of the outside of Swenson's. And funnily enough, there's going to be another story to that coming up in just a second, so stay tuned. So, right after me and my friends went to Swenson's, we decided to drive a little north up to Cleveland. And while we were there, I have maybe 2 or 3 photos I liked from Cleveland. It was late, like around, it was already getting dark, it was below freezing. And I don't know where this was at. I know it's somewhere in downtown Cleveland. I don't know what it was at first. I just liked the look of it, and it's okay-ish of a shot. Besides that, there's a little more to Cleveland, such as we parked there and walked around the waterfront of Lake Erie, and it's hard to see because it's like at the time I was not really good. I'm still not to this day. I'm still trying to perfect the art of getting better at taking photos at night. Although this is around like probably 7 or 8 o'clock at night around Lake Erie. And if you noticed anything to the right of it, it's like in the lake. It's already covered in ice, as I said. I went there probably like mid-March, where it's still kind of cold in Ohio. And then obviously for anyone that's into rock and roll, then I have one okay shot photo of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum in Cleveland, which is right along the waterfront near Lake Erie. And this is what I got a few photos of briefly while in Cleveland at least. And for the most part, it was still cold. We didn't stay out too long in Cleveland since it felt kind of quiet at the time I think it was we went there on a Wednesday or something. And seeing it like nobody out and it's really cold out, we decided not to stay long. And then, funny enough, my friend decided we're gonna drive back to Akron to get more burgers and milkshakes at Swenson's, which we did. And obviously, we stayed there for a little bit. We told the one guy that we had twice for who delivered us our food. We drove all the way from Maryland and what have you. And we conversed for a little bit. And if you ever go to Swenson's, they have amazing food. I've been there in over 10 years. And for the most part, it was quite an interesting story of how I had gotten a decent photo unintentionally, all because I got invited for lunch. And if you like this video, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And hope to see you in the next one. Peace.